So the pigtails have been boiling for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna drain this water and fill the pot back up with some water and put it to boil again. If you're using unsalted pigtails, then you don't have to boil it twice or 3 times. You just boil it once and that should be fine. So mine is salted, so I'm gonna boil it about 2 or 3 times. I like to boil my breadfruit before cooking the dish. So I'm just gonna place these cubes that I cut up. And you don't want to overboil it, just boil it until it starts getting soft. So once the pigtails are boiled, now you want to go ahead and trim off that excess fat. So I like to just cut all that fat out. And this boiled twice and it's not too salty. It's perfect for me. So if you want, you can give it a taste to make sure that all the salt has been boiled off, and you'll know if to boil it again or if it's perfect as is. So mine is good now after 2 boils. It depends on where I buy the pigtails. If I buy it at the grocery, I usually have to boil it about 3-4 times or even pressure cook it. But when I get it at the market, I just have to boil it twice and it's perfect. So I'm just gonna trim off this fat and then I'll come back and we'll season it up. So I went ahead and cut up the pigtails into smaller pieces. So I cut off the fat and I just cut it up into these little pieces. And we're gonna season it, and the only thing I like to season it with is a little bit of soy sauce. And this is just to give a color. So the soy sauce is for color. But keep in mind that soy sauce is very salty, so we're not gonna add any salt to the pigtail because it already has salt, and we boiled out most of the salt. So I'm just using that, and I'm using a little bit of green seasoning. I don't have a lot here, but I'm gonna add some more to the pot. So you don't have to add too much because more seasoning is going to be added to the pot. And you can also go in with a little bit of black pepper, some freshly ground black pepper. Now if you want, you can leave it to marinate, or you can just start cooking right away. I'm adding a little bit of oil. This is avocado oil. And you don't want to add too much because pork is very fatty. Well, at least the pigtails are very fatty. Although I trimmed off the fat, there's still going to be some fat that's going to render out. Now you're going to add your pigtails. Now you want this to get a nice fry on it. So I'm just going to let it fry for like 10-15 minutes. And I'm going to turn the camera off because it's popping up a lot and I don't want it to damage the lens. So in about 10 minutes I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So it's been about 10 minutes, and if you notice, there's like a nice charred color going on there. That's what you want. You want the pigtails to get a nice char on them. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some carrots. Some onions. Hot pepper, some chive or scallion, and some celery. I like to use the leafy celery, which is called Chinese celery. So if you wanted, you could use the the big celery. This smells amazing. You want all those flavors to marry together. And now I have my pre-boiled breadfruit here. I'm gonna add that to the pot now. I have more meat than breadfruit. That's how we do it in Trinidad. We say more meat than rice. After about 2 minutes, now you want to add some really hot water in there. Some boiling water. At this point, I'm going to add some salt. Not too much. And this is optional, but I like to add this Maggi Vegetable Soup mix. You can add a bouillon cube, or you can just omit it completely. I just find that it kicks up the flavor a notch. It really gives a nice flavor. I'm also gonna go in with some coconut milk. I'm using canned, but fresh is always best. So I have a feeling I'm gonna change this pot because it's a little too small for me. I like a more soupy consistency with oil down as opposed to a dry consistency. So mine is gonna have a little bit more liquid. But you can do it however you want. And the last thing before we cover it up is some Dasheen bush bhagi. And this is gonna melt down, so you don't have to worry about this. Now I'm gonna add my green seasoning. I'll have the recipe for this linked in the upper right hand corner, as well as the description box below. So I'm adding enough green seasoning. And just wanna mix that in. And I'm gonna cover it and leave it for about 20 minutes. And occasionally I'll come in and turn it and make sure that it's not sticking. And make sure you keep turning it just so that it cooks evenly. So I'll check you guys back in about 20 minutes. So it's been about 45 minutes, and as you can see, the color is coming in nicely. I don't like a very white oil down. I like when it gets a nice little color. So the soy sauce from the Pigtails actually gave this nice color, as well as the bhagi, because I actually put a lot of bhagi in it. Usually you just put a handful of bhagi, but I like to put plenty. So this looks good now. If you wanted to turn it off, you could do that, and as it cools, it thickens up. So I like it like a soup like this, because when it cools, it thickens up just a little bit more. So that's perfect for me. So now you could taste it, see if it needs anything else. And some people like to finish it off with some golden ray butter. I'm gonna pass on that today. I'm trying to not use golden ray because it's not very healthy. So I'm not gonna add any. But if you want to, you can go right ahead. Just don't use too much, because it does add a really nice flavor. And if you don't like these big chunks of breadfruit, you could take a potato masher and you could just mash it up, or you can just take the back of a spoon and mash it. So I'm gonna turn it off now. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Be sure to leave me all your comments down below. Tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel and leave me all your comments down below. And give the video a thumbs up if you like it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!